Rationalism is a world defined by math and logic alone. Because the senses, emotions, and conventions can all be flawed, they cannot be trusted. There is no truth that can surpass pure human reason. As with materialism, there is some truth to this. Who's going to argue against science? Who's going to argue against rationality? We don't want to be erratic beings guided solely by emotions or intuitions. What do the numbers say? What is logical? These are not bad questions to ask. And yet, we all know that what draws us to a beautiful sunset is not that it is rational.
It is perfectly rational to find things beautiful or ugly. We've evolved to do this. Symmetry is something that we look for because we think that that's something that means that something has good health, strong genes. So we find somebody with a symmetrical face to be beautiful as a potential mate. Things that help us survive, therefore, are rewarded by our brain by positive emotions. We see beauty other places for similar reasons. And we see ugliness as well for similar reasons. We've evolved to find certain things to be ugly so that we avoid them, or we find things to be disgusting so that we do not eat them or stay around them for long. So the exact opposite is the case. Finding beauty in a sunset or anything else in nature is completely and totally rational.
We fall in love and get married not because we've made calculations and can logically prove through some theorem that love is real.
Wrong again. We can actually prove that love is real. It's a combination of various chemicals released by your brain, particularly dopamine. And you actually are making calculations inside of your brain. You're just not actively aware of those calculations. You are attracted to that person physically because, again, symmetry or other things that you find pleasing because your brain is saying that this person will make a good mate. If you think that you can fall in love with somebody without seeing them, that is true. But then you're finding other things that they said or did to be pleasing and to be a good potential mate. Falling in love is perfectly rational, given that we are attracted to certain characteristics that we think will be beneficial to our livelihood, our longevity, our own personal happiness, and to successful mating.
Now, life's greatest pleasures, what brings us the most meaning, come not from pure logic, but from beauty and love.
I find great meaning in pure logic. It excites me and fills me with all sorts of high emotion. Doesn't make it true or false, by the way, but I enjoy it nonetheless. So you're wrong here that we don't find it in pure logic. I do. So I'm your counterexample here. That means that your idea is false. Also, again, these things that you mentioned are perfectly logical and rational. So you're just wrong in every single way that you could be wrong.
From art, history, music, poetry, literature.
You can study art to find what's the most pleasing. You can study literature and find what's the most pleasing. You can definitely study music to find what's the most pleasing, and music is mathematical in nature. There's certain songs that will be pleasing to humans, broadly speaking, and others that will never be pleasing to humans, broadly speaking. And you can discover all of that using science.
And yes, faith.
If the suggestion was that things are subjective that we enjoy, then faith too is subjective and we might enjoy it or we might not want anything to do with it. I find no value in faith. I'm your counterexample. So you're wrong about this one. I find nothing of joy in this anymore. I used to, but now I don't. I find nothing but repulsion.
And so, the way that we combat the rationalist is not with reasoned arguments or debate.
And there you have it. We finally have what we've been waiting for. A true statement made by an apologist. You don't use reason or logic because you don't have those things. You must use emotion. That's it. That's all you have. You don't have rational arguments. You don't have science. You have emotion. That's it. We knew it. It's just you finally admit it. You have faith. We have facts. Thanks for finally being honest with us. So stop pretending. Just say that it's faith. Stop pretending that it's something that you can prove because you can't. Just be honest from now on. I'd love to see it. I'd love to hear it more often. You don't have anything to offer but emotion. And as you were suggesting, emotion isn't rational, right? So then you don't have anything rational to offer us. Of course, it is rational to have emotion, but the use of emotion itself to get to somebody to use that emotion to compel them to a conclusion, that isn't rational. And that's all you have is irrational emotion. Thanks for saying it. Thank you. Let's hear it again. It's really good. I just want to play it over and over again. Let's do that, shall we?
And so, the way that we combat the rationalist is not with reasoned arguments or debate. Not with reasoned arguments or debate. Not with reasoned arguments or debate. Not with reasoned arguments. Not with reasoned. It's not to play their game with their rules.
Excuse me? What did you just say? Did you just take a big old dump on all my hard work? Did you not look at my 5 ways? The things that I invented because those pesky atheists were running around using logic? I wanted to speak their language. Even though it's not really their language, I mean, logic is for everyone, it doesn't belong to anybody. But nonetheless, how dare you? How dare you?
We must break them out of their isolated worldview to encounter sacred spaces.
Oh, look at the trees! Look at the trees! Look how pretty the trees is! Oh, look at the waterfall! Oh, isn't it pretty? Look at these rainbows, so pretty! I'm gonna take you all these places! Look how pretty! You're not gonna break me out of my worldview by showing me something beautiful or something ugly or showing me anything other than a sound argument, which you clearly don't have. And you said you don't have it. Just show them something pretty. And you show a picture of a church. Ooh, isn't it big and magnificent? Look how big it is. Yeah, it's a waste of money. Yeah, I'm not impressed by it. I don't find it beautiful. I find it just a big old giant waste of money. So what? Now, there are things in nature that I find impressive, but that doesn't shake my worldview, not even a little, because those things are beautiful without adding anything else to them. Without logic, without facts, without reason, you cannot sway me. You got nothing.
Places that provoke a sense of awe and wonder, that point to something beyond anything that can be explained.
Show them something that they can't explain, then fill that ignorance with God. So, an appeal to ignorance got of the gap, I guess? As if there was something that you could show us that isn't explained or explainable. I mean, there are a few mysteries out there for sure. I guess you could try to show us a mystery and be like, oh, look, nobody's explained this. Yeah? And? Well, therefore, there's unexplained stuff. Okay? And? Well, therefore, God! No? No. 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 Also, no.
As Blaise Pascal once said, the heart has its reasons which reason knows nothing of.
I'll wager that he was wrong about that.
We know the truth not only by reason, but by the heart.
So you do have reason, you just don't want to use reason? So wait, you have reason? You said you didn't have reason a moment ago, but now you have reason, but you don't just use reason, you also use emotion to get to the truth. How would you use emotion to get to something that's true, given everything you've said about emotion is that it is not rational? Huh? What? Huh? It's like your argument's broken. Oh wait, it is broken. Right, keep going.
While it's true that our emotions and intuition can't always be trusted, there is no reason to throw it away completely.
And that's what reason encompasses. The ability to recognize that we are creatures of emotion, but that we need to use rational logic to tamper down the emotional response that we might have in order to reveal the truth of the matter. When considering any phenomenon, any political ideology, any statement that you want to make, any feeling that you have about anything must be scrutinized by applying reason and logic to it to find out and discover whether or not this thing is true, false, or somewhere in between, or perhaps unknowable or unknown, at least to you. Especially when it comes to things that you hold most dear, something that you cherish, something that you're very passionate about. That's when you use more rationality and more logic to scrutinize it. And you get the help of others to also scrutinize the idea at hand. Let's look at this from as many angles as possible and come to a logical conclusion, one not clouded by emotion. Yes, reason acknowledges that we have emotion, and emotion is a very powerful thing, but it must be set aside so that we can get to the truth.
Remember the feeling of seeing your first child. Let yourself be overwhelmed with falling in love. Look at the stars with immense wonder and don't try to analyze why.
Turn off your brain and enjoy things. It's feeling. Yes, feeling. Yes, oh, isn't it nice when you did this thing? Wasn't it nice when that thing happened? Oh, lovely feeling. Feeling. Don't think about it, though. Don't analyze it. No. You don't want to think about stuff. Just enjoy the moment.
There's something that speaks to us beyond pure rationality, and it is the truth.
There's something tugging at you. It's you. Your desire to feel more of that feeling is what's tugging at you. The truth is there's more. Well, there's more feeling to have, but that's what you're looking for, is that feeling of more. I want more of this. And so you extrapolate that there is more of this, that there's such a more to this, that it is all encompassing and everywhere, all forever. And to feel that nice feeling that you have forever would be amazing. And so you pretend that that must be something that actually exists, and you pretend that one day you'll be there. But it is pretend. Let's not mince words. The feeling that you have is a fleeting feeling, and it doesn't reveal more, nor does it reveal any deep truth. The only way to get to the actual truth is using reason and logic, because if you don't use those, then you're being irrational and illogical, and the only thing that you're gonna get to is not the truth, is not the way forward. It is not any of those things that we need to survive, practically speaking. But you can get away with it because faith is impractical, and it is practiced on one day of the week, at least actively practiced. Every other day is you're doing something else. Although you take a little bit of your time off of your day to practice the impractical. Because you can take time off to meditate, which actually does work, but you just use meditation as prayer. And you do so because you've been told that praying is a good thing. Well, you don't need to pray to anything to have the benefit of the meditation part. Religion plays on our psychology to make us think that there's more to this reality. But reality is beautiful enough as is. If you don't want to use reason and logic, then all you're going to have is faith. I'd rather have facts. I find great beauty and wonder in knowing what is actually true rather than believing and being wrong.
Is not with reasoned arguments or debate.